it was announced the creation of the United Socialist Party of Venezuela. It was on the Teresa Carreño Theater after the victory. You can see how all this match after the victory of 2006. 4 days after, the commander made a statement for the creation of the first communal councils. And then the 15th, he did a statement announcing the creation of the United Socialist Party of Venezuela, which is the biggest political party in America and the most organized. It is the Bolivarian Revolution Party. Then the Alba Summit, an extraordinary days, reminding us the two giants, Chavez and Fidel, all was born after the first embrace of Commander Chavez and Fidel, where they recognized each other. They embraced themselves and decided to move forward together for the welfare of our people. And they went beyond the borders and decided not to invade no one across the border to take the welfare. And it rise, there were brothers and sisters of Haiti, our beloved Haiti, while Cuba and Venezuela were sending doctors. United States was sending troops. Troops. What's the purpose? To send troops to slaughter the people that could go to the streets because of when the love must prevail, the solidarity must prevail. And the love of Fidel and the love of Chavez created the ALBA against all news, against the terrible thing that was called the ALCA, the Bolivarian alternative for the Americas, a different way, not to integrate but unite. You can review, Bolivar never speak about integration, he speak about union. It's different. I can be integrated to the shark stomach because I'm a small fish, but this is totally different. Bolivar was speaking about union and always was speaking about union. Fidel and Chavez copied and work in that way. Some of them didn't understood in the moment, from my point of view, in a selfish way, with a hint of even of envy. Nothing. What they needed to do is to add themselves. We were with the presidents. It was Diaz-Canel. It was Lula. It was Daniel also. Then the president was reunited with Daniel, and I was in that meeting. And Daniel Ortega is a legend. Is a legend, a living legend. Nowadays, we have consolidated even more the union, Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. In the 100th anniversary of Ayacucho was inaugurated the monument. Have you seen the monument? It's very beautiful. 165 years of the Santa Ynez battle. Was a demonstration of the peasant. The president was in there. Meetings were held with the candidates of the communal peace justices. It was inaugurated the Science University. Another university, not another university, but a new university for our young population, a new alternative for our young people. I must remember to the young people that is present here in how the things used to be, because we have to say that the older people that we are here to study, we had to get out of our houses, get out of our states, come here to Caracas or to Maracay when it was closer, because in the state where we were born, it was a studies opportunity. Nowadays, all the kids from the bachelor's degree, they had their position assured thanks to the Bolivarian Revolution. It wasn't like that before. It wasn't like that before. You could get graduated and then a thing came, like it was called the floating population. You're there, you have your position, but when there is availability, means never. 53 created. 53 created inside of the revolution. Almost nothing. For whom? For the people. For the people. Monagas was a champion of the football league, and we have some activities tomorrow for the commemorance of the death of Simon Bolivar. And I'm reading a book there written by a Spaniard, and you can read it and you almost feel like you're going to cry. And I sent it to the president. It's truly like the last days there, and you can feel yourself wanting to cry because of the tragedy, the despair of Bolivar. Despair. With their pains from the disease. And it says that Bolivar probably was weighing 37 kilograms only. And you can imagine to a Bolivar, a hurricane without the strength to do anything. I'm going to print it for the national direction, because when you read those words, you get the strength, because Bolivar never gave up in any moment and commanded. It was organizing even with their pains, with his pains, to know the history, or a version of the history, but a version that is approximate to the reality and gives us strength. It's the same example of the Chavez commander. Chavez could have said, well, I'm sick and I'm going to try to get better, but it said no. He fulfilled his word, and today both of them are root with us, for now and forever. Will be in the commemorational. There is surprises, people in movement, surprise. December is going to be a very beautiful December, because the ornaments are placed in every town in Venezuela. The joy of the gaita. And 42 years when the people swore in Samantha. It was a group of captains of the time. I was a recruit in that time. I entered the school in the 83. They went to the Saman. But the next year I was. Correct, yes. I enter in the academy of in the 200th anniversary of the birth of Bolivar, and I found Melia there and Pedro Carreño there, but Carreño was a grandmother still. Who else is here? Us. I found myself with Vilma in the military academy, and we found there in the military academy. In the 83, the Pan American Games here in Caracas. We were going to enter into the academy on August 15th, and we ended up entering on the 21st, because it was the Pan American Games. Well, if you have any questions, greetings, good afternoon. We initiate the question cycle by Melanie Castillo, by Venezolana Televisión. Good afternoon, President Nicolás Maduro, like yourself, generated a wide balance when it was given the positive, the election of the justices of peace. He was explaining from the Venezuela is the vanguard of a new democracy that points to the self-governance. And the question is, in what way the people of Venezuela consolidate this power that is given to them. And number two, Edmundo Gonzalez is saying that is making a plan to enter the country without the collaboration of the Venezuelan. Who? I didn't listen. Edmundo Gonzalez affirms that has a plan to enter the country without the collaboration of the Venezuelan authorities. So there is an opinion that it is going to ensure that he's going to enter through Colombia through these scenarios, and how the state is going to act. And number three, we want to know that if from these days is going to be evaluated possible release of these detainees of the Guarimbas. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Venezuela, once Lula said there is no other country more democratic than Venezuela. When they don't have an election, they invented it. But those inventions are, the main character is the people. The best way and for the people to incorporate and participate is the way that happened yesterday. A massive presence, joy, a clarity of concepts, a clarity of what is being sought and what is being wanted. A people that understand his role and a way of a different way of governance. Long time ago, one of those comrades that surged in politics and spoke about the communal governance, and he was one of the most ferocious defenders of the communal government. And I remember the governors and mayors went to him, how is this possible? And he said, yes, that's where we're going. An authentic self-governance, and the election of the peace justice start to shape. And when Hugo Chavez said community or nothing, he was meaning it. And this is the time of the truth and the time of the community. That's what Maduro is doing. That's what President Maduro is doing. Those are steps that are taken with a strong base. What is being achieved, there is no way to backing it down, because those are statements to the progress. Some could say those are acquired rights already. By whom? By the ones that needs taken, the people from the incarcerations. You know what? What happened? Here, terrorist acts were made, violence, murders, And in that way were detained an amount of Venezuelans with the hardship that they were detainees because of themselves, because they were recorded on their phones and published posts in the media, a media campaign against Venezuela. Why do you think that they posted it on the social media? First of all, they thought that they were going to win, and it wouldn't matter after the heroes, of course. And then to spread the terror in the people, to get the people frightened. And our answer to the next day, we were on the streets marching from where we are, and we say no, the street is from the people, not from you, not from the terrorists. And from those detentions, never were, remember, the ones who led it to those terrorist acts. They were left alone. That's the truth. Beyond that, they can release an article. That's not for the benefit of the detainee. It's just to keep going. I don't know if I can explain myself. They don't care at all the status of the detainees because of them. They don't care. A lot of them manipulated, a lot of people with issues, criminals that were promised after they will be exonerated from all the crimes. That's why they killed, and that's why they murder to a group of people where nowadays there's no one tie to the security organism, and it was clear that they murdered themselves. And after that, when the incarcerations starts, and I'm going to say this with all the seriousness, they don't care those people are free. And they started, I'm going to say that they started to block this process, to prevent it. I think that it was the ones that they did that request was the head of state, President Nicolas Maduro, was the most directed, affected, because he were coming from the winner of the elections. We don't believe in the exclusions. Every single one of us has a space. If it's elections, you have to win it with votes, and they don't believe in that. A review is made. The opposition sectors don't want them out because they want how to generate some scandal, how to maintain on the spotlight, not the detainees. I'm talking about the one who led those to that. They're nothing, and they're working with the pain of families, of the pain of people that are detained. It's a way, a vile way to make politics, but that's the opposition of Venezuela, and you can expect anything. That Mr. Edmundo comes, they're creating lies once again. On January 10th, the only one that is going to swear is Nicolas Maduro Moros. There's not a single possibility, not even one, not even a half of possibility that Mr. Edmundo Gonzalez set a foot in Venezuela without being detained. Not even a single possibility. And because he's not that brave, it's not brave. Remember that he went into an embassy on July 28th. He was on the Netherlands embassies. That's not said by me, it's said by a high diplomatic of the embassy of the Netherlands. It's not brave. But there's not a single possibility that that comes to Venezuela to sworn. And you, Mr. Ambassador, is hearing those lies to this time, and you believe that. Forgive me, but you're just into another level if you believe those lies are still. Those are the same deceivers. Now that there's going to sworn in Disneyland or in Colombia, that's a freak show. How can I say that? Some bars in a Tasca, a bar in Spain. In a Tasca, a bar in some place in Spain, some place famous in Spain. In Las Cuevas de la Escondela. Go ahead. In the middle of drunkenness, you can sworn in. What's going to happen? Nothing. Here in Venezuela, nothing is going to happen because of that. In Venezuela, we have an elected president, Nicolas Maduro, and it's going to sworn in on the January 10th. He's out of there saying, no, it's not 10, it could be another day. Because they're not even serious in that. And I can guarantee that not a single day he's going to do it. Not even the 10th, not another day he's going to do it. There is no other way to do that. Zero possibilities to this time. They don't have they don't even have any shame to deceive their people. What do you think that they say? If it's not the 10th, it could be another day to keep the scam going. The 10th is that the thing starts. When they lose, this is the start of the beginning. The beginning of. On the 10th, you're going to see a very good date as a carnival to set the costume for the president. No, it's better in the holidays. We can do it on the Holy Week with such priests, and then they will move it to August, and then they're going to move the date because they're lying to their people. And if you let yourself be deceived at this time, it's you're the one to blame. Good afternoon to all of you. The Argentine Cancellery Minister of Foreign Affairs announced that it was detained a sub-officer in the border of Venezuela, and they indicated that these actions are part of a campaign of harassment for the national government, and by last, the European Union is evaluating new sanctions against Venezuela because of lack of democratic transition of the country. What is your position about this? Thank you. European Union can mind their own business. Those are arrogant, and they believe that they can sanction. Those are stupids, really. They can talk there and say they have to ask for the sanctions. It's the same method that they've been using for 5 or 6 years, even more, against Venezuela. And at the end, they ended up biting their own tail. They have to recognize their new puppet, but they can give him enough whiskey there. The European Union has nothing to do in Venezuela. They have to keep their nose out of Venezuela. And speaking about the Foreign Affairs Ministry of Argentina, how they are hurt because of that. A person was detained. You can go into the Instagram and go around the world, and travel around the world, but his salary is of $500. What was going to be in Venezuela? What was his task here in Venezuela? They don't say that. Probably we're going to say it in some point. Some friend of mine could say it. What's the purpose of his visit in Venezuela? They put a facade on it. It was a girlfriend or boyfriend. If you want to get married, come to Venezuela. If you want to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you can come to Venezuela. Everyone says that. They got hurt because he was going to fulfill a mission, and the mission has not been aborted. We've just strike to the mission thanks to the state security organisms. We are being threatened too by the fascism. Patricia Bullrich, that's war cause, good sake. Then the British can't take the war because they were taking the Malvinas out from them. That's not a war cause. Have territories still from them. It will look like no. Now here in Venezuela there is a justice, there is some authorities, there is a sovereignty and an independency, and the Foreign Affairs Ministry of Argentina has their ways to see what they're going to do. And they decided not to have relationships with us. Well, it's some difficult situation, but just a little bit. And all the detainees in Venezuela have their rights guarantees in Venezuela every single day. Enter to Venezuela every single day from different parts of the world are being written the report. I'm going to say the number. Sorry, to number, simple number. 168,466 in the last 2 months are coming to Venezuela, and they're coming to the beaches. They're going to Canaima, not existing in any place of the world. They go to Roque, they're going to the jungle slide in peace. But the ones who comes to conspire has to assume their responsibility. Nothing else. I remember that the Fernandez was ruling in Argentina, and Jorge called me, Jorge Arraza, and he said, well, Fernandez is saying that don't go to Argentina because you were having a detain. What did I do in Argentina? It was the first days. It was the end of December. I was going in January. Allegedly, I was going to January to visit Milagros Salas, and I would love to see Milagros Salas, to give him a hug from a brother revolutionary. And I had not in my plans to nothing, but the justice of Argentina said that at the moment that I set a foot on Argentina, I was going to be in prison 6-7 years ago. A judge over there that they couldn't do anything. They can detain a Venezuelan here in Venezuela I was not going there. Pure lies. Didn't have even plans to go there. But they put their heads on that Diosdado was going to visit to Milagro Salas. It was going to rouse the tranquility in Argentina, as I always blaming on the Bolivarian winds that they was going to take a hurricane there. The justice is the justice. There is no manipulation. I say to Jorge, and I said, that's pure lies, but they don't want me to go there. It's the same. I was not going because Fernando was a warm government, and there you can see Argentina into the governance of a fascist, among others. Now we know a few things that was silence face upon them. Here now we have a justice that is really working, and that person is, according to the courts, is in a secret military base in Táchira. No idea they have. But that's all to give them credibility to a government that is chasing other. We don't chase anyone. 168,000 of foreigners in Venezuela. Welcome to Venezuela, a great country of good people, kind people. Some people come and they come to the root of the seven pagan temples. They're going to, for the neighborhoods to know Caracas. There's some people from Caracas that do that trips that comes from the east, and they don't know the center where the Huahuanco is, where just joy, where is the party, the rumba, where is the real country. Once that comes here in it, we treat them as brother. Argentines, Chileans, Spaniards, US citizens, Germans, and they go really happy out, and some people gets boyfriend, girlfriend, and then get back. Last question, Fabiana Marquez by the Venezuelan news agency. Good afternoon. You were mentioned the subject of the incarceration of for the post-electoral violence. How do you make a contrast between those measures of the justice of Venezuela to the statements of the High Commissioner of the United Nations about the alleged suicide of one of the detainees? Do you believe the fake news that it was ideal by Washington try to threaten to Venezuela and generate tension in the region? Look, they live in another reality because that's why they are get paid off to live in another reality. Avendaño is in the payroll of the lie. That's not a journalist, he's a hitman of the social communication, because that's a real serious thing. To being a journalist requires high ethical levels of professionalism and ethic. Is a scandalous lie. Constant. They don't have any nature of shame. They give information, and then after they give it, nothing of one of them asks for an apology. No. You can remember the December 1st. How many of them were out to say, I deceived on December 1st? When they say that Caracas was going to be took, and then they got concentrated in the Castellana Square. How many of them were? I don't complain about the pain of the family of the detainees, but the detainees, the difference between us is that we rise against those, and we didn't scream for help of anyone, and we took those responsibilities in our family did it as well. There was no existence of this mercenary, and I always tell this story. One time we went to the prosecutor's office because the visits were taken away from us. They were denying the visits from us. Do you remember? And you were saying, the family, you're going to the prosecutor's office to make the denounce. The visit was taken away from us because of the family. I'm not mocking that. And a journalist was there. I don't know if it's a journalist, Sergio Novelis. And the family came to him and say, look, from the imprisonment, no, we cannot cover that story. For once, that was the reality. And they were getting the information. It was the mercenaries against us in that time. And nowadays, it's against the entire country. Because they're trying to generate anguish among the people. In Trinidad and Tobago, they made a party. They were really happy. Get ready. What it is? Eric Prince. They were mocked. They were scammed. They were robbed again. They were robbed again. Because they were the same. And they said in like a big thing. On January 10th, they're just telling lies. It is not true that Mr. Edmundo is going to swear. The only ones that are going to swear in is President Nicolás Maduro with the people. They're being manipulated. They're being mocked. And I repeat, and they're doing it because they're taking money out of it. We have to maintain this now. That's the subject. We understand. It's like on July, at the end of July, the subject of the rise, and those are the main subject of talks to generate discontent against their, just like in December. The Venezuelan state, a responsible state, President asked the head of state. They tried to take away my reality, and they tried to slaughter people. They asked the causes to be reviewed, and their people is going out of jail, over 300. The highlight of there that those people were abandoned, were left behind and alone. Those and their families, no pain is felt because of that. That's a responsible state. And they're going to make some party when some of them are released. They interested the DMOs to have the prisoners. Every single time the justice release 10, 15, 20, they don't say it. They're not interested in that reasons to be known. A communique was released by the Venezuelan state. They are only focused on the prisoners. That's what they get paid for. Those are on the payroll of the weekend. We're going to move forward. 15 days are left from this year. On the 17th of December, then the 20th, December 20th is the creation of the Bolivarian police, and then New Year's Eve as the first days of 2025 will go by. The creation of the National Assembly is going to be celebrated, and then the 10th President Nicolás Maduro is going to be sworn in, and before the 15th he has to speak to the people. Who performed? The head of state, Nicolás Maduro, President of the Republic. The rest is just stories. On the January 26th, you can see what is the manifestation of people's power. On the 26th is President summoned the first consultation of the year. On January 26th in the communities for the projects. And we move forward. We're not going to be stopped by the far right. That's not going to be our stop sign. They can continue with their campaign. We are well fit in the reality. I enjoy when I see those guys because they ended up believing those lies. You can see them and say, no, their body language is that they're believing in this. When it doesn't happen, there's no excuse after. I make a mistake, the source was bad. And I said in these days that they were preparing that sir that was rector of the CMA alongside with two of them. They were going to say that they were claiming Edmundo Gonzalez from outside of Venezuela. It is a lie. Del Pino did it. And the rest were afraid. Even the Central was offended. Now, speaking about the Central University, no. But that's the way they live, in lies. Del Pino has to prove a little bit of bravery to see the results, and the other one that left, the bravery of the opposition, if you measure the bravery of the opposition because of them, 0 points. They left. They are living from lies, because from there the politics are a business. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all of you. I don't know if we're going to see each other. What's the next reunion? We have time. We have time. No one. We have to be, as the president says, with the guard up. We cannot put the guard down. We have to maintain it always up. Always pendant, aware. Thanking life and God to bring us here to this date of the year, to close the year in peace and start 2025 as it should. A big hug to all of you. Long live the homeland. Long live Bolivar. Long live Chavez. Long live Maduro. And remember, bitter sirs, we will conquer.
We were listening to the statements of Venezuela's Minister of Interior, Justice and Peace, Diosdado Cabello. The minister was making a brief summary of everything that has happened throughout the year, and also especially all the activities that were held in December as the elections of the new Justices of Peace. That was a milestone in democracy, something that they are trying to build a new way of government and communal participation in Venezuela, and also referred to the ALBA TCP summit that was held recently over the weekend, also in Caracas, as the region continues to work to full unity as was envisioned in Bolivar's work. The Diosdado Cabello referred to the work that is going to be continued strengthening in the next year, in the coming year 2025, and also answered questions regarding those detained during the violence that was generated by right-wing sectors following the electoral victory of President Nicolás Maduro, and that they will continue working with the truth and with the Constitution in hand. Stay tuned with teleSUR English for more updates in upcoming news briefs.